السلام عليكم. أنا بتعلم عن الإسلام.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معاكم أخوكم علي أحمد المشعل، أحد الطلاب المبتعثين في أمريكا. اليوم حبينا نشوف وجهة نظر الشعب الأمريكي وبعض المسلمين العايشين هنا بأمريكا.
What I know about Islam.
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 My knowledge of Islam.
I know that Islam is a religion that's based on peace and harmony.
I know that Muhammad was a prophet and he talked to people about what he knew, and his followers wrote down what he said, I think, in the Quran. I think that's what happened.
I know that Muhammad actually supposedly lopped off 800 people's head in one day.
There's a pilgrimage that Islam followers have to make every year, I believe, and or once in their lifetime, and they go to Mecca, and they do this, they walk around these posts and they have to throw rocks at something, and there's alms for the poor that they have to give.
I know you pray 3 times a day towards Mecca, 5 times a day towards Mecca.
Well, I don't know too much about it because, well, I'm Catholic, but
There is really 2 different versions. There's like the extremist version, and then there's the cultural Islamic version where how I perceive all my friends who are Islamic. They're the greatest people in the world.
The older part of Islam, which I think was the most amazing culture, especially in the 12th century in Iran, in the Middle East, and when it spread all over North Africa and Spain.
The Saudi group last year, and they did a clothing drive for the flood victims in Montana last year, and it was great because it was something that they wanted to bless the community with, and they were bringing support to people that needed help. And
It's about the love for each other within the religion, but not just the love for people who are a part of Islam, but also for all other people in the world.
And I think with Islam that it gets a really bad reputation in the media aspect just because of everything that has happened since 9/11, how everything's going on in the Middle East. And I think it really is silly how we can perceive an entire culture just by the act of a few individuals.
I was fairly young when 9/11 hit, and so I didn't know much about Islam before that, but I know that the perspective on Islam has changed in the US, and people have either shut the door to that and they don't want to know more about it, and they just think that it's bad, or a lot more people have done a lot more research into it to figure out what is the truth about it.
But I think the Osama bin Laden era changed a lot of things about the perception of Islam in the world, and it's most unfortunate, jihad, which started with the bomb in the World Trade Center, the first World Trade Center, and then after that, of course, the 9/11.
From my experience in my research, Islam does seem like a very violent religion compared to Christianity, but that's my personal research, I guess.
Women in Islam is really women just anywhere else in the world. The only difference is each woman has different cultures, and those cultures are perceived differently by others. Here in the United States, we don't see it as a really big deal when a woman walks down the street in short shorts and a tank top, but if you go elsewhere around the world, it's perceived as inappropriate.
So that women can't drive in Saudi Arabia. They mostly stay in the home. They wear burqas and head coverings. Not sure that I really like that. I think it's I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that. I think if women want to drive, they should be able to.
As far as that, I really don't have much of an opinion. If the women wanted to change, we all know, I have been married, we all know that women could pressure the change if they wanted the change, but since they're raised that way, That's how things are done. They follow the religion to what they want to do, and so it's not really my reason. Is not really up to me or to anybody else to dictate whether what they're doing is good, right, or wrong. As far as I'm concerned.
I know that women have a lot less rights and aren't to be touched or talked about, or they're just a lot less acknowledged, I guess, in Saudi Arabia than they are in the U.S. And I don't really know how the women in Saudi Arabia feel about that, but I don't really agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Islamic women wear veils to perceive their femininity from others, except for their husbands and their family, because femininity in Islamic culture is very, very important, and they want to keep that sacred and keep that safe.
Like it's a male person, it's a patriarch kind of environment, and having women not being able to, go to get an education, go to school, I think that kind of, it's because in America, genders are equal, as much as we try to be.
الاسم ماجد علي كانتو، العراق، بصرة. صار لي 12 سنة. 2000 سنة 2000 انتقلت لأمريكا. كانت حلوة يعني، تصور حلو. بعد الأحداث 2001 بدأت صورة الإسلام تسيء للأمريكان.
Personally, I think it's really silly, because what it is, it's just those few individuals that caused such a horrific day for September 2001, and it's just, it goes around saying with every culture and every individual. People are different. People are going to look different. People are going to have different religions and different cultures, and you just really have to take it as a whole.
حادث من الحوادث، زوجتي كانت متحجبة يعني، وصار لها حادث ان اعتدوا عليها داخل ستور، وتغيرت صورة كاملة يعني على الإسلام. احنا نسوي الصورة، يعني احنا المسلمين نسوي صورة الإسلام، أو كانت سيئة أو كانت كويسة يعني.
And I think that people as a whole need to grow up and really just grow up.
التعامل الحين يعني جيد، أشوفه يعني بينت الصورة يعني.